Okay, so have you heard about this Qodo AI? They're really making a splash with this new model they have, Qodo Embed 1 Day 1.5B, I think it's called. And it's not just like all the other AI tools you see, like, it's not just generating code. This thing actually, like, understands code. You know what I mean? Like, it gets what the code means, which is huge, especially if you're a company with, like, tons and tons of code to deal with. It's a total game changer. Imagine. Like, you're trying to find a specific piece of code in a project that's got, like, millions of lines of code in it. Talk about a needle in a haystack. And to make it even worse, you get code that looks almost exactly the same, but actually does totally different things.
Mm.
That's where this thing called code embedding comes in. It's actually pretty cool. So it's basically, it's like Quoto's AI is translating code into a language it can understand. Every little bit of code gets its own like fingerprint based on what it means and what it does. So then the AI can find and compare these snippets way more accurately, even if they look super similar. The CEO of Quoto, he gave this great example. Think about like withdraw and deposit in banking software. The code for those is probably almost the same. Maybe just like a plus or minus sign is different or something. But obviously, you know, if you mix those up, it's a disaster, right? That's what I mean. Quoto's model is trained to get these tiny but super important differences in code, and that's what makes it so powerful. What's crazy is Qodo Embed 1.5B, that model I mentioned, it's way more efficient than some of these massive models out there. The ones from those big companies like OpenAI and Salesforce. It gets amazing results, top-notch performance, with only 1.5 billion parameters. When other models are using something like 7 billion, these parameters are kind of like the knobs and dials the AI uses to understand and process the code. Usually more means it's a smarter model. But Quoto is showing everyone that you can get awesome results without going overboard. And that efficiency really makes a difference. It means it's faster, uses less power. It could even run on your own computer, which is a huge deal, especially for smaller companies or teams that don't have access to these giant server farms. So, we were just talking about efficiency, and that kind of brings us to how Quoto actually pulled this off, how they made such a lean and powerful code understanding machine, right? And it all comes down to the data they used to train it. They didn't just like throw any old code at it. They were really careful about what they used. Like
Yeah.
they used a mix of synthetic code and real world code, specifically to teach the AI all the little details of all these different programming languages. And they went even further than that. They made sure that the model wouldn't get confused by code from different languages, which some other models have trouble with that. They really focused on like the top 10 languages used in enterprise development to really make sure it understood those perfectly. See, it's not just about like searching for code. It's about giving the AI this deep understanding of what the code actually means, which opens up so many possibilities. And here's where things get really interesting. So Quoto is making its model available in a few different ways. They have open source options and enterprise options. So that means developers can like play around with it, experiment with it and use it in their own work. And bigger companies can even get a whole platform that manages the model for them, keeps it updated as their code bases get bigger and change. So they're always getting the best results. But this is bigger than just finding and comparing bits of code. It's about AI moving beyond just writing code and getting to the point where it really understands it. Imagine like a world where AI could help you find bugs before they even become a problem. Think about that. What if you could catch bugs before they cause any trouble? Or what if the AI could suggest ways to make your code more efficient? Or even like refactor your code to make it cleaner and easier to understand? That's the future Quoto is working on. And I'm really excited to see where it goes. And it's not just going to make things easier for us developers. This whole like deep understanding of code thing, I think it could lead to totally new kinds of software, like stuff we haven't even thought of yet. Imagine software that can like adapt and learn on its own and change as it needs to handle new problems and challenges, like problems we don't even know about yet. Quota's right at the front of this whole thing, really pushing what's possible with AI and code. It's like a sneak peek into the future, where AI isn't just a tool, it's more like a partner, helping us build better software, faster, more innovative stuff. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What else is going to happen? What other breakthroughs are just around the corner? How is this going to change everything about software in the next few years? I think one thing's for sure. It's going to be a wild ride. And that's it for our look at Qodo AI. Until next time, keep on innovating, keep exploring, keep pushing the limits of what we can do with technology.